All right, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back from the MLG offices in New York City. Hopefully you're having a great morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are. I'm Axel Toss. I'm joined by AxLab. You're watching MajorLeagueGaming.com or twitch.tv/MLGS2. Be sure to hang out in the chat. Chat is pretty awesome. I see you guys. Chip Kane, Koniotic, Oz says, dream a little. Dream a little.
Just a little.
Just a little. Just a little.
Just a little.
A Hamilton, O does, Fragus, Leue, Permalice, 5-pool, not to be confused with 6-pool. Coca 551, Deanne Tong 518, Terranos OP. Of course, the sibling of Protoss is OP and Zerg is OP. Blubnock, XRB Power, Caristo, Billy Bongles, Eric.
That's a cool name. I like Billy Bongles.
Eric Mikeland. Someone in the chat asked me an interesting question. It
Wait,
was
also, someone just asked another question I'll answer.
okay, yeah, we'll get to that. TBB said, "Hey, Axel Toss, in a horror movie, aren't you the guy who would abandon his friends to save himself?"
Kind of hard.
Would I be?
I think
no.
you kind of are.
It depends.
Depends on how good of a friend. Well, no, it depended on if you thought the friend was useful in
exactly.
the long-term
Yes.
survival team.
So, not a lot of people know this, but most of the people I meet, I have actually a contract. It's called the. I'm not gonna say what the name of it is, but the basic idea is in the event of an apocalypse or the world ending, it's kind of a group where we trust each other enough. We talk through plans. We've made these decisions. Nick's part of it, but again, it's a very exclusive thing where we literally have a plan laid out if something tragic or some apocalypse scenario would happen. And I think it's important for people to have that so that you're always prepared.
Always be prepared. And always be prepared to adapt.
So hopefully that answers that person's question.
Yes.
So if it's someone I'm not, I don't know. I see people might either think I'm a terrible person or that I'm a bad person. One of the two.
So
I'll help anyone. If you're having trouble in a zombie apocalypse, give me a call. I'll help you out.
So someone is asking, has Snoot played yet? And that's going to segue into basically a quick recap if you guys are tuning in. Currently the score is, we're in the Acer TeamStory Cup. It's a best of 9 between Team Liquid and Acer. And right now Acer is up 4-3. In the first match we saw Bly take down Rep, putting Acer up 1-0.
Yep.
Then of course we saw Taeja come in and take out Bly and Paranoid back-to-back, putting Team Liquid up 2-1. Nurcho popped in for Acer, taking out Taeja and Hero back-to-back, putting Acer up 3-2. And of course, TLO came in, took out Nurcho, tying it up 3-3, but we just saw MMA take out TLO, putting Acer into match point. They're up 4-3. But you know what happens?
What happens?
Once you're in that final match, you only have one player left, you can revive someone who's already played before. So Team Liquid, being down 3-4, is deciding to revive Taeja. So we're going to see Taeja versus MMA. If MMA wins, that's it. It's done. If Taeja wins, it's tied up 4-4.
I love Taeja.
We'll get to a final ace match. And in that ace match, Acer can play anyone they want.
I love Taeja. Okay.
All right. Looks like the players are ready.
What is going to happen here? What do you think, Nick? I want expert analysis right now.
Dude, what's going to happen is an amazing game. You've got two of the best TVT players in the world, two of the best TV anything players in the world. It's gonna be spectacular. Belshir Vestige is the map.
Yes.
It's a cool map for TVT. A lot of ledges. The Zelnaga towers, if you get to like a longer game, are really important. In the mid game though, there's a lot of kind of scary type of attacks that can hit you because people can get in positions where they can camp your production from the low ground. They can get in positions where they can cut off your third from your natural and do a good contain. And then if you're trying to worry about all those, and your units are kind of on the map to make sure they can't get in those deathly chokehold positions. If you're watching for the chokehold, all of a sudden they can just run up behind you and smash you in the back of the head with a doom drop in the main. So there's a lot of threats on this map. I mean, most maps in TVT are like that, though. Like, as a Terran player, there's so much that can come out at you in TVT. It makes it a really exciting matchup.
TVT is awesome, especially among really, really good players.
Oh, yeah.
And both these guys are super good. If you could predict right now, who's going to win this one?
I couldn't. I think it's 40-40.
Wow. Well
It's a 40-40 game.
played. Well played. Here we are, Belshir Vestige. This is more important than the first cookie you've ever eaten. Taeja versus MMA. Can Taeja bring it back? That's the question.
He has to. He's Team Liquid's last hope. They're down 3-4. Remember, in the best of 9, you win 5, you win. Acer's already won 4. So he's on the ropes, man. He's on the ropes.
Okay. Let's see what happens.
Oh, by the way, in TBT,
Yeah.
you'll notice a lot of pro Terrans do this. There's two ways to put your depots. Either put them in places like between your main base and your gas, or you put them at the ramp. Now, if you think about it, there's two methodologies. One is make a wall, so if he does Hellions or something, you can't run by easily, right? And that's what we do. The other thought is, you know what? I don't care about a wall too much. I just want to get a depot for supply. I'm not too worried about Hellions running by. It's not the biggest threat. So then, where do I put the depot? Well, you gotta think, okay, I want this depot to be as safe as possible. What are the things that can hit it? Well, Banshees, the Cloak Banshee running around my base, you know, I have a tournament mirror line, but elsewhere I won't have it protected, or like Marine drops. So early on, you can put it between your command center and the gas geyser. Right now, you wouldn't want to be building it there because it would block the mining.
Yeah, you don't want to intrude. They're trying to work. They're trying to do their job, and you're not going to build something, you know, when they're doing their job.
But if you build it before you know you're going to get the gas, and you can lower it.
Yes.
Then
you're adequately planning out with the, you know, with your
urban planning.
Yep. It's very important, especially when it comes to if there's a studio nearby and you're deciding to build something, you know.
Yep.
Nick, I told you to delay the Hellbat stuff to the weekend, man.
You know,
I told you.
I was afraid. I was afraid the apocalypse would happen on the weekend. I wanted my Hellbat ready.
Okay. It's fine. Thankfully, it's been a little more quiet. Of course, probably 80% of our viewership has no idea what we're talking about. That's okay, because those 20%, we got a little bit of, we got a wink action going.
Yep.
And we know those. We know. See, we know. All right. 80% is like, all right, back to the game.
Back to the game.
So back to the game.
Back to the game. Both players are doing the exact same opening. Actually, here's the deviation. MMA getting a second. MMA really loves Cloak Banshees, by the way. Like, I would say, let's just say 80%, because you threw out a number earlier. Totally pulled out a random. But very often he goes Cloak Banshee TBT. In fact, like, probably about 80%. He really loves Cloak Banshee TBT. And we can see he's getting a second gas, so he can get both the Banshee and Cloak once the Starports finishes. He's going to switch over to that Tech Lab. Meanwhile, Taeja is also going for a Tech Lab. He's on a single gas, so he doesn't have quite as much gas to play with. Of course, that means that he will have more minerals. If you look at their economies, you can see that. You know, Taeja's bringing more minerals, MMA's bringing more gas. So Taeja could expand a little bit faster off this. He could afford to add in Hellions, for example, which he's doing right now. Basically, it's a different unit composition going forward. A different focus going forward.
Sure. So the beginning of this game is kind of going to revolve around how much damage can the Banshees do from MMA and from Taeja. Both players going Banshee. MMA going to be incorporating Cloak for now. Taeja doesn't really have enough gas to make that happen. He's going to be more, I want to say expansion-minded, but then some Terrans will just throw a second gas and just invest even more into one base, so we'll see. But again, who can do the who can get that damage done with that Banshee?
Yeah, I mean, so far, Taeja could do a little bit of a scary attack with 2 Hellions and some Marines. Now, of course, the Banshee probably will be out just in time to help defend. But at least he'll know about the Banshee, and he'll probably even see the Tech Lab, and he can identify the fact that it's Cloak. And this is what Taeja spent the minerals on. We said, what's he spending these extra minerals on? He didn't get Cloak, he didn't get the second gas. He's been spending them on the Hellions. So what can his Hellions do to justify that mineral investment? Oh, in fact, actually, there's already Widowmine set up, so he's going to basically camp out on Identify. There's no expansion. Now, he's going to expand himself, but he's got to be a little bit nervous. I mean, he's probably not nervous yet. He has to know that Cloak Bench is a possibility. And he has to know that MMA does it literally like 80% of his games.
Yep.
So, in fact, okay, he's getting a Viking. He got one
no
Banshee.
engineering base, so there's no potential for
Okay,
it.
just now it started. This first, I mean, this command's going to be so hard to actually finish. Now he's going to test. Oh, this Widowmine could be huge. Oh, gets a massive hit.
That was a lot of damage dealt out by one Widowmine. MMA is going to be happy about that, but getting fed off the rest of this army. A lot of Marines, a lot of Hellions, a Banshee up above. 2 Hellions going down, only 1 remaining. SCV is desperately trying to repair. Remember, the Widowmine cooldown is going to expire mildly soon. The Banshee's still alive, but meanwhile, the Cloak Banshee, the main base of Taeja,
6 kills.
6 kills, but the Viking can try to usher that guy away. The Raven is now out here for MMA, deploying him out of turret. That's going to help him much.
Oh, that's going to help so much. I mean, I actually would like to see him repair that. That would have been awesome. He didn't need it, though. He had enough Marines there. You know, that was a very solid defense. I think MMA is significantly ahead. Yes, he started his command center significantly after Taeja, but Taeja can't even build it. Like, this is the problem with the Cloak Banshee if you don't have a response for it. It actually just kills everything.
Oh, and Taeja's just going to throw down the GG. And that does it. Does it? It does it.
Yep, that does it.
That does it.
That does it.
It's done.
It's done.
It's done.
It's Ace.
MMA.
You know, it's crazy. I'm actually really surprised Taeja wasn't prepared for that Cloak Banshee because he identified no low ground expansion.
Yep.
Cloak Banshee is a fairly common opening in TVT, and when you talk about MMA,
And he does it a lot, right?
yeah,
like,
he's out of every top Terran player. You look at like the best 20 Terran players in the world. He prefers Cloak Banshees more than other 19. Is he guaranteed to do it? No, but it's one of his very favorite openings. Super Cloak Banshee minded opening player.
And there's a reason. I mean, we saw how effective that was.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, I mean, you're almost never gonna lose the game from a Cloak Banshee. Sometimes you will do no damage. You might be a little behind, but that's why he loves it.
It's not incredibly difficult to make it pay for itself.
Yeah, I mean, or in this game, he just... And even if Taeja got the missile turret up in his main, and only lost like a few SCVs, just the fact that he built his expansion on the low ground that like never would have finished, because every SCV that comes down there was going to get mowed down.
Yeah.
Probably put MMA ahead just by default, just because he had his own expansion about 2/3 way done at that point. And his defense was great, actually.
Yeah.
I was really surprised at how effective he defended.
That would have mind shots.
It was... Well, I think it was 4 Hellions, 5 to 6 Marines, and a Banshee. And he had 5 Marines when it hit, and 1 Widowmine. And he defended it.
I love
he lost like 2 SCVs.
He got a really quick Raven, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I really like that he did that.
You kind of have to if you go Cloak Banshee, because if you don't and your opponent goes Cloak Banshee, you just die. So.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah.
So there we go. Acer taking out Liquid. To kind of recap things, if you missed anything, VODs will be up on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/official MLGSE2. Also, rebroadcasts will be happening all day long, so at any time, head on over to MajorLeagueGaming.com, but we're not starting the rebroadcast yet, because coming up next, we got more awesome StarCraft 2. Specifically, it's going to be Western Wolves versus
Axiom.
See, I thought the axe was. I thought you love saying the axe.
You do. I do. I missed.
It's not like a. It's not like a
no,
potential memory lapse.
I missed the pickup.
No, that doesn't happen.
So this is going to be a great match.
Yeah, Western Wolves versus Axiom.
Yep. Western Wolves, like you said, is so far undefeated in Acer TeamStory Cup. They've looked phenomenal. I mean, they've beat Complexity Gaming. All their work against Complexity was from San, the Korean player. Of course, he plays for Western Wolves. Very strong Korean player. He made their top 2 or top 4 of GSL like a year ago. Yeah.
He won 4 against Complexity.
Against Invictus, it was other Korean players. It was Czech and Daisy. Of course, Czech, a former Warcraft 3 pro. Daisy, if you ever play European dailies or you follow those European playing back in the day, Daisy played in like every daily. He's like one of those guys who just cranks out dailies like a maniac.
He has a deceptive name. Like when he made his name, he's like the most brilliant guy, because he's like, you know what, I'm gonna name myself Daisy. So when you're going up against
someone, where daisies are grown.
Ooh, I didn't think this far into it. Where are they grown?
On top of the graves of the people he slays.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's this guy, man.
I didn't even think of that. I'm envisioning like, okay, I'm on the ladder and I'm playing someone named Daisy. His name is Daisy. I can take him out. I never tied that together. So Daisy's good. Look out for him. He might be playing. Probably will be playing. So Western Wolves right now, they're 3-0.
It's basically it's pretty much almost exclusively Korean players on our team.
Yeah.
And they're all very talented. So but same thing with Axiom. Axiom is exclusively Korean too, so this should be a great match.
I'm looking forward to it. Of course, guys, to briefly recap again, Acer versus Liquid. It is now done. Congratulations to Acer, taking out Team Liquid 5-3. Here's what happened. Bly took out Rhett on Polar Knight, and then Taeja came in and won 2 in a row against Bly and Paranoid. And then Nurchio had a phenomenal performance today. Really happy for him. He's a big reason why Acer won today.
Yeah.
So I hope Nurchio gets a lot of credit. Nurchio taking out both Taeja and Hero before falling to TLO, and then MMA came in, defeated TLO, and then defeated Taeja. Because if you're down to the last person, you can revive one of your players. Liquid chose to revive Taeja. MMA able to take him out, giving Acer the 5-3 victory. So Liquid is going to be 0-1 in the standings right now.
Yes.
And it looks like Acer will advance to 2-1.
Who they lost to?
They lost to Axiom.
Oh, so this is actually Acer, who's been looking amazing. The team that beat them, we're actually going to see coming up next.
Yeah, actually, the next match is the top 2 players in the league right now.
Oh wow,
the top
you're right.
2 teams.
3-0 and a 2-1.
3-0, 2-1. Yeah. Western Wolves versus Axiom, guys. We're going to take a break. It might be a little bit longer this time. We might take a 10-minute break so me and Nick can breathe a little bit, maybe drink some water. Water is really important, guys, to stay hydrated. Maybe do some exercises, maybe do some stretching.
some push-ups.
Some push-ups, but we got plenty more StarCraft 2 coming your way. So guys, we're going to take about a 10-minute break, but then we'll be back with Axiom versus Western Wolves. Don't go anywhere.